If you want to have better conversations with your staff, with your peers, with your bosses, with yourself, with anyone really, and you want those conversations to be less messy, less confusing, and more productive, more engaging, just more rewarding, then I want to give you 3 short tips, 3 practical things you can do to get the balance right between you talking and them talking in a way that just keeps the conversation moving in a good way. Let's jump into it. I have a question for you. What's the balance between talking and not talking in your conversations? I've been trialing this tool called Fathom, and it's an online note-taking tool. When I'm on Google Meet or Zoom or Teams, it records the conversation, sends me a summary of the notes and action points. It's brilliant. But there's this other really cool feature, which is called Talk Time. And what that does in real time, it tells me every 5 minutes or so what percentage of the time I'm talking in the conversation. And at the end, it will give me a summary of that. And it's really helpful because it just helps me check, am I dominating the conversation or not? Now, why does this matter? Well, have you ever been in a conversation where you have just felt like it's been a fire hose coming at you? It's been a monologue from the other person, and you just can't get it going in a two-way conversation. And so you might leave feeling unheard and maybe undervalued. Or maybe you've been in a conversation where the other person just doesn't seem to get it. You can't get your point across to them. And it's like, why aren't they listening to me? Now, in both those cases, there's probably an imbalance between talking and not talking across the two of you. And what we're looking for is a really healthy balance. There's some really good research that was cited in Harvard Business Review that says when the other person on the other side of the conversation perceives us as someone who is more on receive than transmit, then that person is likely to be more relaxed, more open to sharing their perspective, more open to new perspectives, and also more cooperative overall. And I reckon they're all really good reasons to stop talking and start listening a bit more. My rule of thumb is to have less than 50% of my time in a conversation in talk mode. And whatever that lesser percentage is, the talking part, I want it to be a balance of asking really good questions and sharing my perspective. And the rest of the time I am and listening really well. And that will lead into all of those things that research says. I want the person to be more engaged. I want it to be a productive, generative conversation most of the time. So I did a recent call on Fathom, and it gave me a 40% talk time score, which I thought was really good given my rule of thumb. And there were no what it calls monologues. There's this other feature which says, are you doing a monologue or not? And a monologue is when you're talking for 90 seconds or more, like this video right now. And I think that was really cool. So, okay, great. And it just helps me track things. But you don't need Fathom. You don't need Fathom to do this. You just need some techniques to monitor yourself. And I want to give you 3 different techniques. So the first one is what I'd call the breath check method. So after every few sentences, just take a breath. Create a natural pause in the conversation. And what that'll allow you to do is to check and ask questions of yourself like, okay, am I talking too much? How's this person going in this conversation? Are they engaged? And it creates a space for maybe them to fill rather than you. So the breath check method is number 1. Number 2 is the 3-sentence rule. And I love this one. It's this idea of like, what if you could just do 3 sentences and then stop? And I love that because what it does, it gets you to A, get more succinct about sharing what you need to share. And B, it forces you to create a break. And if you're tempted to go on just one more thing, don't. Just go and then allow the other person maybe to ask a bit more and say, can you tell me a bit more about that? Give them another 3 sentences. And the third one is the phone timer technique. And this is where you get your phone and you put it on silent, but you put it on a 90-second timer. So you can, on buzzer, so you can feel it in your pocket, but they don't know it's going. And every 90 seconds, which is the same amount of time that Fathom says is a monologue, it'll give you a buzz in your pocket, and it'll be just that little lovely little nudge to go, stop talking. So there's 3 techniques. You've got the breath check method, you've got the 3-sentence rule, and then you've got the phone timer technique. If you put that into practice, what you'll do is you'll bring into being the most powerful tool in communication you've got, which is actually not your voice. It's your ability to create the space and the silence for the other person to have their voice. Try those things out. Go well. See you soon.